another nation platform set the rules, our discourse can be defined by a completely different set of values. So to push back on this, our policymakers work define internet policy and regulars to address public safety and the important social reproductive right policies that have value of voice and expression around the world. The second challenge to expression from platforms themselves includes us because their reality is that make lot decisions that affect people's ability to speak. Now I'm committed to the value that we won't get it right. I understand that people are concerned about how much control we have over people communicate, and I understand people are concerned about bias, making sure their ideas are treated fairly and frankly. I don't think that with so many important decisions about speed on we benefit from more democracy process and clearer rules and some new institutions. So that's why we are establishing independent oversight board for people to appeal their content decisions. The board is going to have the power to make final binding decisions about whether content stay up and come down across our service, and these are going to be decisions our team, and we are going to appoint who have diversity of view and background, but who hold free expression at the paramount value. And binding important to me personally because I'm not always going to be here, and I want to ensure that the values of voice and free expression are incisively into how this company is governed. This the third challenge in precision is because it actually comes from our country itself. We are at the moment particularly tension in here and around the world, and we're seeing enforce a new norm that what people cannot say. And increasingly, we're seeing people across the spectrum more speed and dangerous because it may lead to political outcomes that they see as unacceptable. Some hold the views that seem the stake so high they can no longer trust their fellow citizens with the power to communicate and decide what believe for themselves. I personally believe that it's more dangerous for democracy over the long term than almost any speech. Democracy depends on the idea that we hold each other right to express ourselves above desire to only get outcome that we want. You can impose tolerance top down. It had to come from people opening up, sharing experience, and developing a stated story for our society that we all feel like we are part of. That's how we make progress. So how we do turn the tide? Well, someone told me our founding fathers like the air. You don't miss it until it's gone. When people don't feel they can express and lose faith and in democracy, that porosity of the hell our democracy and civic norm. I'm little more optimistic. I don't think we need to lose freedom realize how important it is. I think that people get it and understand it and appreciate the voice at some fundamental level. I think the more people believe in their fellow people too. As long as our government respects to express themselves, as long as our platform live up there to support expression and prevent harm, and as long as we commit being more perspective, I think we're going to make progress. It's going to take time, but I think that we're going to work through. We overcome the polarization after World War II and intense political violence in 1960s. Progress isn't linear. Sometimes we have to take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but we can agree, let each other talk about this issue, then can even take the first step. So when it hurts, It's how we build that understanding. So yet we have a big agreement, maybe more than any time. But perhaps it's this because we are getting on the table issue for a long time we aren't talk about enough. More people from more parts of our society now have voice than ever. It's going to take time to hear all this voice, knit them together into coherent narrative. Sometimes people for regular event come along and resolve this conflict. We focus on the major institutions, the large companies, but the bigger story had always been regular people using their voice to take billions of individual steps forward to make all of our lives and our community better.